Welcome to Advances in Perspective, your destination for the latest advancements in history and culture. Today, we're diving into the little-known world of the Musket Wars, a series of conflicts that took place in New Zealand in the early 19th century. These wars were fought between different Maori tribes and had a significant impact on the shaping of the country. So, let's explore the Musket Wars and take a closer look at this little-known period in New Zealand's history. The Maori and the Muskets. The Musket Wars were fought between different Maori tribes, who had lived in New Zealand for centuries, and their culture was deeply rooted in the land. The arrival of Europeans brought new technologies, such as muskets, which the Maori quickly adopted to defend their territory. The Musket Wars began as tribes sought to gain an advantage over one another and gain control of land and resources. The muskets gave the tribes a new level of power, and the wars that followed were some of the most intense and brutal in New Zealand's history. The conflict begins. The Musket Wars began in the 1820s and lasted until the 1870s. These conflicts were characterized by intense fighting, as different Maori tribes armed themselves with muskets and other European weapons. The wars resulted in the displacement of thousands of Maori and the deaths of many more. The battles were fought with great ferocity, and the death toll was high. Many tribes were decimated, and their traditional way of life was destroyed. The impact of the wars. The Musket Wars had a profound impact on the Maori people and their way of life. Many tribes were decimated, and their traditional way of life was destroyed. The wars also resulted in the loss of much of the Maori's land and resources, which were taken over by the victors. The wars also had a significant impact on the relationship between the Maori and European settlers, who began to arrive in large numbers after the wars had ended. The Musket Wars also had a significant impact on the culture of the Maori people, as it was a time of great change and adaptation. The aftermath. The aftermath of the Musket Wars was a difficult one for the Maori people. Many tribes were left devastated by the loss of life and land, and many were forced to move to new areas. The wars also had a significant impact on the relationship between the Maori and European settlers, as the Maori became increasingly suspicious of the newcomers. The Musket Wars also had a significant impact on the culture of the Maori people, as it was a time of great change and adaptation. The Maori people had to learn to adapt to new ways of living and new technologies, which was a difficult and challenging process. The Musket Wars were a significant, but little-known chapter in New Zealand's history. These conflicts had a profound impact on the Maori people and their way of life, and their legacy can still be felt today. The Musket Wars were a time of great change and adaptation for the Maori people, and it was a period of great loss and hardship. But through it all, the Maori people remained resilient and determined to survive. The Musket Wars were a turning point in New Zealand's history, and they shaped the country into what it is today. We hope you've enjoyed learning more about this unknown war and its impact on the shaping of New Zealand's history. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting content on Advances in Perspective. Thanks for watching.